Hello everyone, I hope you're doing fine today. Once more, it's Prophet Samuel Fombang, and I'm here to share with you a vision I had about the nation America on Thursday, the 26th of March 2026 at 3 a.m. I've been prophesying about this particular nation for many years now, and many times the Lord has given me key messages for this nation. And that's also because it's one of the nations the Lord has given us as command to pray for. Because what takes place in this nation always affects the rest of the world, given the position they occupy in the world today. So this particular prophecy is addressed to the United States of America because there are attacks coming against this nation in the future. What I saw in this particular vision, I found myself in a place where visas were granted or anything having to do with access to the nation. Because in this particular case, I saw someone who came to receive a visa. But this particular visa wasn't just granted by any ambassador. I saw someone close to the president who was involved in granting this visa and was present in that office for that reason. And while we were seated in that office, the person who had to receive this visa or this entrance ticket from this person close to the president, I saw them enter this office together and they had to speak. So I went out for them to have time together. But immediately I went out, I saw a man enter this particular building from downstairs and he came upstairs. When he came upstairs, there were two guards and he was able to neutralize the two. Then he entered this command room and began to manipulate some things on the computers I saw there. And I can't explain how, but he had access to the system and he was able to do certain things. And after he was done manipulating the system, I saw him descending the staircase, going back to the down floor. But now there were other guards who were present there, and according to this vision, they were going to overpower him. And suddenly I saw people who were out of the building come to his aid, like other people who were part of the plan but were not inside the building when he was doing all this. They saw that now he had finished the job that was given them and he was about to exit. But without their help, he was going to be caught by the guards in the down floor. And I saw them enter fast, neutralize these guards, and that permitted him to go out. Then immediately he went out, I saw him look at the cameras and discover that what they had done had been captured. So he went and destroyed the cameras and also entered the system once more and deleted every information about what they had done. Then they left and I woke up from this vision. Then the Lord spoke to me and said, this vision is in two dimensions. The first, it shows that there are threats against this nation in terms of an invasion. The fact that an external force or people who were not part of that office that was like an embassy had access to it without them being granted access, were able to access it and carry out the activity for which they came, it shows that there are external forces that are going to attack the USA, and based on this vision, they are going to succeed. That's the first thing. The second thing is the attacks on this nation shall also be linked to technology. They will be able to gain access or penetrate the system of this nation. And here I'm talking about technology. This is like being able to hack into the system and accessing certain informations. He had access to the system and there were things he did using the computer before exiting the office. And this speaks clearly about a technological invasion. These nations shall also be invaded technologically. And in this particular vision, the Lord permitted me to see the nation behind the people who carried out these activities in this US office that represents the nation. Because an embassy normally represents a nation. And based on the fact they were about to grant a visa to someone there, this only speaks about an embassy. I think visas are granted at embassies or anything having to do with homeland and everything. I don't really know details of these things, but based on the vision, I can say this is an embassy. And an embassy represents a nation. So this embassy can also be a sign showing that God is telling me this is what is about to happen to the nation America. Because in visions, there's what you see and there's the interpretation of what you see. And what I see is not just an attack against embassies. Yes, there will be, but that's not the only thing. What I'm seeing here is a real attack against the nation. And as I said, someone close to the president was present in that building at that moment. And what I saw is the life of this person was in danger. This is someone close to the president. I can even clearly tell you this is like a family relationship. This person was present in that office at the moment this was taking place. And I saw that based on what was happening, the life of this person was in danger. Foreign enemies were able to access this building, neutralize the guards, and perform the reason for which they came there. Not only that, as they were leaving, they discovered that there were traces of them and what they had done. So they went back one more time and erased everything having to do with them. So this is an attack that is well planned against the USA. And as I've said, it's going to also involve a technological aspect where they shall invade this nation through technology. They shall invade her systems, invade all that has to do even with homeland security. They shall access certain files and many things shall be tampered with. And I also see that they are going to delete traces of what they have done. So this nation needs to pray. The church in this nation needs to pray because there are things coming. And this government, as I've said, There are many irregularities, despite the fact God put them in place, but there are many irregularities that are taking place. And based on that, there are things that can happen. Meanwhile, it's not the will of God because of the little excesses that are beginning to find themselves in place. And also, the Lord said to Saul that when you were still small in your eyes, I exalted you. But now you have made yourself big, and that's the reason why you're falling. Pray for the President of the United States of America. Let pride not cause him to make God's wrath rest upon him. God brought him there because he took a posture of humility. But right now, the pride is climbing to another level. And as I said, it's also because of a bewitchment against the government. And based on that, he's losing favor with God. He's losing favor with God. So the spiritual leaders around him, pray for him and speak to him. Let him submit himself fully to the will of God and remain humble. God raised him to that place because of the posture of humility he took towards God. If he exalts himself because of the results he's seen and the seeming power, the nation will fall in less than no time. This vision is speaking about danger that is ahead, and the church needs to pray, and the spiritual leaders around the government and also the President of the United States of America have to pray, but also speak to them, speak the counsel of God, so that they can run the affairs of this nation according to the plan of God. Let them not try to use the power they have to do things above what is permitted, because God shall not support it. I repeat, let them not try to use the power they have to do things above what God has permitted, because the Lord wouldn't support it. And when such things take place, what the nation shall discover is there shall be multiplied attacks against this nation. Physical invasions, but even more in this particular vision, I saw a technological invasion. They were able to access the system, take control of it, and tamper with material. And not only that, before they left, I saw them delete what they had done, so that traces would not be there to show what had taken place. Pray for this nation. Today, the world is all about technology. That's the worst thing that can happen to a nation. That the system is being penetrated by a foreign nation or foreign bodies, and they're able to access the information and even tamper with it. That's the worst thing that can happen to any nation on earth in our current time. That's worse than a physical invasion. If they get access and control over your information, over your systems, then they can do anything to your nation. They can cause accidents with planes, with trains, with cars, no matter what it is. If they access your system, they can do anything. They can send out false alerts that will instead bring people to a place where they can be harmed. Many things can take place if the system of a nation is controlled. And I see this happening to the United States of America. That's why I'm here today to tell you, you need to pray for your nation. The nation USA, you need to pray for your nation. You have many enemies more than ever before, and they are teaming up to destroy you. They are teaming up to destroy you. Even those who were your allies before, because of many things that have taken place, are now teaming up with other enemies to bring you down. And what I saw in this vision was linked to technology. They were able to access the system, take control of it, do different things with it, and they were able to exit. This means they completed their mission. This is what I saw in the vision, but prayer can change things. God didn't tell me you can pray and change it, but I believe when we pray, things can change. But based on the vision, that's what I saw, and the mission was successful. According to this vision, the mission was successful. But I'm asking the church in the USA to pray for your nation. Pray for your nation more than ever before, and most especially turn to God, because we're in the last days. Any time from now, the rapture can take place. Preach the gospel more than ever before. Live for Christ. And may the government of this nation not only use God as a way to gain what they want, may let them really submit to God and follow Him, because you also need to be saved. Being in the government doesn't grant you a ticket to heaven. You can be prayed for. God can grant you wisdom to lead the people. But if you don't know God personally, despite all that, you will still go to hell. I'm speaking to the president. I'm speaking to all those around him and all those in government. Don't only use God for your political ambitions and everything. Submit your heart to Him. Accept Him into your lives as Lord and Savior, and serve Him in humility with all your life and all your heart. And as you do that, not only shall He guide you here on earth, but He shall grant you a place in His rest after this life that's with Him forever. So this is my message to the US, and let's take it very, very seriously, because these things I saw are coming to pass. We need to pray that God's will be done. If it can be stopped, then through prayer let it be stopped. But this is what I saw, and I came to share this with you. God bless you. That was Prophet Samuel Fombang. Shalom.